Hey everybody, Joedog here. Gonna finish up the smoked salmon here. We're gonna start with just pulling it out of the bags. You know, we had put this in the bags and got it all ready to go yesterday. So it's been 24 hours. So we're gonna pull it out. We're gonna put it on this rack right here, and we're gonna let it dry off. We're pat dry it with some paper towel, and then I pepper it, lay it on the racks for the smoker, and let it air dry for a bit, and put some fresh cracked black pepper on it, and then we smoke it for 4 hours with some hickory chips. I prefer hickory. I like a smoky flavor, and it's just my preference. Everybody's going to have their own preference. Some people like applewood. Some people like alder. A lot of people say that smoked salmon is better with alder wood, but I've tried them and I like hickory. I mean, some people even use some different kinds of herbs in their smoke trays. So it's personal preference, people. And you know what? Let's get it going on, people. Okay, so what I do is I pull it out of these bags. They've been soaking overnight. See, what's nice about these is you just flip them, you know, every 6 or 8 hours, and it just keeps the product covered so it gets a nice flavor and nice seal into it. So pop them open. I wear gloves, just, you know, whatever you want to do. Get this roll-up tray. You can get these online. They're pretty nice. They go over your sink. They're just handy. So we just pull these out. I'll save the juice because, you know what, I save it for about a week. If I catch some more salmon, I try to go out fishing a couple days a week. As long as I don't have to work, you know. Fortunately, when I retire, maybe I'll get more fishing time in, but anyhow, we just pull these out, let them drip dry a little bit, and then we're going to pat them down. But it's got a nice color to it. That's a good start. And you will use quite a bit of paper towels because I just like to pat them down and keep this process going because it takes time. So I pat them down, get all the excess off. It's got good flavor already in it. It's absorbed quite a bit. And then what I do is I have these smoking trays. These go in my Big Chief, and they're all, I spray them, and then I just lay them on this cookie sheet here. You can see this cookie sheet I have here, and then I lay them on there and I put cracked black pepper on them. So it just, you know, it adds a little bit more. I like that cracked black pepper. So, and just dry them off, get all the excess liquid off. I like to try and keep them uniform in size though, so I'll save some of these lighter ones and I'll put the thicker ones all together. Just dry them off. I try and save that belly meat for a tray all by itself, because it tends to have a lot more oil in it. I mean, this is the belly, rib meat, and it will have a lot more oil in it. So I like to put it towards the bottom, just because it drips a lot. Even after you start cooking, a lot of the fats come out of it. So it'll tend to want to drip all over everything. So I just save it for the bottom tray and kind of set it aside until you get all the other pieces out of the way. Okay, so we're moving on here to the next batch. We're going to keep doing the process of patting dry and just patting dry and laying it on the cookie sheets. I like to uniform them so they get some different sizes and stuff to them, and then I black pepper them. So I'm going to do the black pepper next, but right now we're just kind of in the process. I don't want to bore you guys with this, but that stuff is just candy, nectar of the gods. Thank you for giving me this bounty. Anyhow, we'll be back to you. Okay, so I got it all dried off now, and I'm just going to put some cracked black pepper on it. I like to use the pepper grinder, and I'm pretty liberal with it. I like mine peppery. I mean, once again, it's personal preference, but I like smoked salmon with black pepper. And the reason I do it like this is so it coats the ones underneath it too. You don't waste a lot of black pepper. So, there you go, get a better look at it. Yummy. So anyway, I repeat the process. I'll show you when I start loading them. All right, so now what I do is I load these trays on these racks here. These racks right here, they'll hold 5 racks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a drip pan. I just make this because a little bit of the fat out of the salmon will drip in here, and it'll tend to sit underneath the tray and burn, which tends to give it a blackening when you smoke it. So I like to change this out a couple times while I'm smoking. So anyway, I'm going to show you how I put these in, and just bear with me here. So they each shelf kind of cooks differently. So I like to put these bigger ones up top because they tend to cook a little hotter up top. So I put the bigger pieces up top, and I'll put the thinner ones next level. And I'll put these are kind of like a mix of belly meats and stuff, so I want to put those towards the bottom. And this is some more of the belly meat, so I want to put them down here towards the bottom. And they're thinner too, so the thinner ones I kind of want to keep them down here, where the thicker ones I want to keep up top. Just cooking preference. So this other one is just kind of a middle of the row pieces, so I'm going to just set it right in the middle. And I spray these racks. I think I might have already said that, but that way it's just easier to take them off when you're done. So this is what it all looks like when it's just about ready to go in. I'm going to take you outside now and show you the smoker I use. Okay, this is the smoker I use. It's the Big Chief. And let me tell you what, I absolutely love this thing. It is an electric, large Jensen. Been using one of these for years. So I'm gonna load it up. I leave this cardboard box on there. It's kind of an insulator, kind of brings the heat up, but it's an electric smoker. You fill up this pan with your chips, and it basically just sits in there and heats up on this element down here. And let me get the chips and fill it up, and we'll go from there. So these are the chips I like to use. They're smokehouse chips. I prefer the hickory flavor. I think I mentioned that earlier, but it's just a nice fine grind on the chip. And I put 2 of these pans through a 4-hour cycle to smoke my salmon. I mean, you can smoke these low and slow at night, and you can smoke it for 8 hours. But being that I'm kind of pressed for time today, I'm going to have to do it in the daytime. I'm going to smoke it for 4 hours, and the chip will last about, this pan of chips right here will last about 2 hours. Basically, just put this chips down there in the smoker, and then I'm going to lower this in. Hold on just a minute. Let me go grab it. So it's a top loader. Some of them are side front loaders, but this is an older model, so this is a top loader. So I just set it in, and I'll let that sit in there for a couple hours and let it air dry. So it'll just sit there, air dry, and then I'll put the lid on it and we'll start the smoke cycle. And you basically just plug it in, close the box up, and set the timer for 2 hours and come back, and I'll tell you what, you see it now? I'm going to show it to you in 2 hours. So here we are, 1 hour into it, and this is where I pull it out and check the tray. So get the drip tray and see all that moisture coming off the fish. This is where that drip tray has to be changed out. Okay, so this is all the liquid that's coming out. So what I like to do is I just like to absorb it with a paper towel. So I put the paper towel in there, let it soak it up, and then I pull it out. Just takes all that moisture out, and that eventually turns into a burnt mess. It took me years to figure that out. All right, people, it's getting just to be about done here. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time, but she's looking good. See what I mean by this bottom pan here? Gets that burnt on it. It's what we need to get out. So look at that. That's just looking good, huh? Look at that belly meat. It's delicious. So I'm gonna flip this around and take that pan out. This is what I'm talking about. I like to get this out because it just creates it to make it turn darker. But it's looking good. I mean, it's just looking delicious. Nice. Look at the coloring on that. I can't wait to just get into that. All right, people. I just pulled her out. It's been 4 hours and 20 minutes. We're calling it good. It's a nice looking smoke. Got some good color on it. Look at those belly pieces right there. Just oily. Nice. See that little bloodline right there, that belly meat. Nice. Let's see what that looks like. Just a little nugget. Oh, look at that. Oily. Nice. Delicious. Very good. Nice. Hey, we're gonna start taking the smoked salmon off now. I take it off and I line it on this cookie sheet. Put some paper towels down to absorb some of the oils that are coming off, because there's still oils dripping off of this real oily fish. Anyway, I put a layer down and then I'll put another layer, and I will just pick them off. That's why we spray them. So this just pops right off. Just like that, and that black pepper's on there. It's all nice and beautiful looking. But just look at that. Just nice. Good stuff. Okay, everybody, I'm taking a look at round 2 in the smoker. Put these bricks on here to kind of hold it down and give it a little bit more seal to seal in that smoke. Yummy. That's round 2. It's just about done. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit more. I'm gonna go show you what I got inside that I'm gonna prep and get ready. Hey everybody, back inside now. We're gonna show you yesterday's smoked salmon. I'm on batch 2. They're gonna fit about 1 salmon in the smoker at a time in those 5 shelves. So let's take a look and see what yesterday's smoked salmon looks like. I like to let it sit 24 hours in the refrigerator. It kind of just cures it up and gets it hard. You know, after coming out of the smoker, it's still nice and kind of nice and soft. But once it firms up a little bit in the refrigeration, it's quite nice. So let's take a look at it. All right, so I'm going to unveil it right now. I seal this up just because it makes the refrigerator stink like a smoker if you don't. Just put a little bit of food wrap on it and paper towels to keep sucking up that moisture. But that's what she comes out to be looking like. I mean, it is quite tasty. It's got a little bit more texture to it now. I mean, this is the little nugget that we took a little chunk off of last night. See that little smoke ring on the top? It's the tax man's coming to eat that one right now. That right there is that belly meat. That belly meat is so delicious for dips. It's just so nice and moist, and you know what? This piece isn't going to look good any other place than in my mouth. So on that note, we're going to stop for a minute. Layers of goodness. We'll talk to you soon. Joedog, with a mouthful of smoked salmon, saying peace out, people. So basically what I do is I transfer it off of those cookie sheets there, and I put it inside this pan here. It's just going to hold it. That's all the smoked salmon. So I'm going to refrigerate it again overnight, because tomorrow I cryovac everything up with the food saver. So I seal it all up. I try not to freeze it. I give it away to a lot of my friends and family, but I do eat a lot of it and consume a lot myself. So tomorrow I throw 4 or 5 pieces of that in each cryovac, because that's some chunky meat there. You don't need a lot. It's pretty rich stuff. So anyhow, that's Joedog smoked salmon. Hope you people enjoyed it. Give me a like if you like it, and give me some comments, please. I need all the help I can get. So, Joedog, peace out. Tug is the drug, people. Everybody, let's go fishing.